Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Road to Glory. My apologies, I accidentally already clicked start with the pass. When I put the code in, if you want to see the code, just go on my Instagram, MEXchallenger. I appreciate it. We're gonna be going after the diamond trip. Oh my gosh, good job. I'm sorry, that was my wife. She's MVP. High five. Oh, it's a diamond contract. No way. What? You get to open it? It's a diamond. This is my first one. Oh, it's diamond shoes, not a contract. That's still sick though. Nice. That's 15K if I wanted to get rid of it. Which I would consider. Just because today also, this episode is not just going to be a new locker code. It's also going to be that I'm 73 cards away from the next collector level. And you know what's out? You know how pumped I am? Throwback elite or throwbacks in general are here. Pacers has Danny Granger, who's going for about 100 plus, like every diamond card it seems like. This card looks amazing. I was a huge Danny Granger fan when I was younger. Especially when it was him and Paul George, David West, Roy Hibbert, and oh wow, Darren Collison. There you go, Darren Collison. And actually around that time too was when Tyler Hansbrough. So I actually brought him up a few episodes ago. Tyler Hansbrough, he played for the North Carolina Tar Heels, and he was a very good player in college, but did not achieve. He did not do his thing and with the Indiana Pacers. I believe he was a first round pick though. Going down to the next one, Allen Houston. This guy, if you ever watched Allen Houston, he was such a great player. This card looks awesome too. He's going for about 30, I want to say. Oh shoot, about 30. Yeah, 40. I saw some for 30 a little bit ago. There you go, 37. I mean, obviously I'm broke, but people who do have 10, 15, 20,000 coins, I mean, you can go after him with a little bit more grinding. Now I'm obviously, now because school has kind of dimmed down a little, just for a week or so, I will be able to grind a little bit. So maybe, hopefully, going after this stuff. So we're actually going to check out the normal throwbacks now. Now, other stuff that came out was Diamond Derrick Rose, Diamond Moments. Both of them are moments, by the way. Klay Thompson. By the way, shout out to my boy Derrick Rose. Obviously, I say this about a lot of players I was a huge fan of. Just when I was younger, I actually watched basketball. That's all I did, was watch and play basketball. My grades suffered in elementary and junior high and high school because that's all I did. I love to sit there and digest the game. I'm actually trying to my major is kinesiology, and one of my majors, and I'm trying to go into sports because I can dissect the game. That's all I did when I was younger. So when I do say I actually sat back and watched them, I did. I watched a lot of Derrick Rose's career. He was incredible. Just knowing who he is and what he was, and being able to come back. I mean, obviously a 50-point game is just one game, but for him that was a lot. Just going through ACL tears and everything else he'd gone through is just, it's just awesome to see. And that's just knowing that even 2K gave, even though it's a video game, did give him a shout out by giving him a 94 rated card. So if you're a huge Derrick Rose fan, Minnesota, Chicago Bulls, whatever, even when he was on the Pacers for a minute, when he was on the Jazz for a minute, and the Cavs for a minute, if you're just a Derrick Rose fan, no matter of your age, try to go get that card. Because actually I'm wondering how much would that card actually be. But we'll actually come back to Steven Jackson real quick. I want to see, it's not the Bulls, what team the Timberwolves, right? Yeah. And obviously the moment cards is this card right here, and he's going for 90 to 100. I'm guessing because I'm not seeing any full pricing. It seems like price is not going up. I mean, just looking at the card itself, 6'3". 95 of all layup. Great mid range. 3 is alright. Passing vision's really nice. Speed was crazy. Now I've already looked at some reviews just to see what this card is about, just so I can also know what I'm going against when I'm playing. And he attacks the basket, but he doesn't have as authority as maybe his Derrick Rose card will have. So that's why I'm guessing he probably doesn't have Posterizer or anything like that. And let me actually check, because I was just on it. Let me see. There's actually a Hall of Fame badge. Tireless scorer. That's interesting. One man fast break sounds right. Acrobat, yeah, nope. He's not gonna be dunking as, like he won't be going after. He won't be attacking the rim as much. Yeah, so this is so awesome to see. And then we go down to the other moments card that there is of Clay. Diamond Clay, who's going for way over 150k, which is crazy. Having him and Diamond moments Steph Curry, just if you had both of these players, I think you should win the whole unlimited tournament, in all honesty. But going back to the throwback, so I believe we haven't gone through any of the actual throwbacks yet. So David West, obviously you get that from doing the token rewards. Steven Jackson, Rick Smits, Paul George, Herb Williams, Clark Kellogg. You have Mark Jackson, Al Harrington, Travis Best, and Detlef Schrempf. I can never pronounce his name. He was a very good player back in the day. His card looks okay. Great shot though. Well, honestly, to me, you know, it doesn't always matter about the ratings. It does matter about if you're able to if you actually know the shot and you're actually able to shoot with the player, specifically from 3 or spot up shots or whatever the case may be. This card looks pretty good. Clark Kellogg was a pretty good player back in his day. Mid-range is really good. He can obviously drive the ball. He's a power forward, I believe. Yeah, his rebounding is pretty good. Obviously not a lot of speed, but the consistency is nice also. But the main cards I'm looking at out of all these are Paul George, which I believe his athleticism at this time was, he was a little bit more flexible and he was more athletic. I mean, he had more speed in him compared to now. But if you look at his card now, probably he probably has a better shot. He's he's able to actually score, because obviously you've seen these stats, and back then he had a problem with scoring, but that wasn't at his fault fully, because he had a guy who was a player who averaged 20 to 30 points a game, of Danny Granger. That guy was a really good offensive player. So when you have that, the only thing you're really asking Paul George is to slash and cut and then get on the defensive end and play, which I expect this card to have decent defensive stats, which he does. So I'm wondering too then, push right, difficult shots and limitless range. He should, wow, he has a lot of friendly, legendary work ethic. That's crazy. I would expect him to have at least maybe a silver or a gold lockdown badge, because he was a very good defender at this time. He still is, but not like that time. And let's see, Herb Williams, 85 overall, center. He's 6'11". Great standing layup. The way I was looking, Honestly, I don't know this guy a lot, to tell you the truth, but yeah, I was gonna say he seems like a defensive center, which he is. Great rebounding. So if you do need a defensive center just to sit right there and play defense, this is the card you'll want if you're in a having a budget team. Another player that caught my eye from the Pacers specifically was Al Harrington. Now, I believe he was a better player with the Atlanta Hawks. But he was a pretty good player with the Pacers also. His three should be really good. Yeah, 87, 86. Athletically, he wasn't great. He had a more of a post game when he was with the Atlanta Hawks. Which that's what it seems like so far. That he's just basically a spot. He's basically a good pick and roll outside shooter. Be able to help you spread the floor. This is the type of card you would want if you're trying to lower your overall or having a budget team that you can't afford a lot, just like myself that's broke. This is a card you'll be looking for. Now we go down to the Knicks. I've been waiting for this card. Now I've been waiting for the Phoenix Suns version, but I am definitely cool with this. Amari Stoudemire. I am so excited about this card, and I'm about to work my butt off to get this card. I'm a huge fan of Amari. I still even watch him in the Big Three. I think he's with Tri-State, I want to say. No, not Tri-State. I forgot what team he was on, but I was a huge fan of watching him for all these years. Just his post moves from his post moves to his mid-range game, he was just a great player, especially with the Suns. When he came to New York, having him, Gallinari, Wilson Chandler, Raymond Felton. Let me see. I think, and I can't. Gallinari, Wilson Chandler, Raymond Felton. I can't think of the other player who's in the starting lineup for some reason. But I believe Tyson Chandler did join that time period when it was him and Tyson. That was a really good team. When they traded all them players for Carmelo, as much as I love Carmelo, and he's one of my favorite players growing up, he ruined that team, and he kind of ruined Amari, because Amari, the way how he played, everything had to play around him. Kind of like what happened with Kevin Love and the Cavaliers. If you're a little younger and you're watching this, same thing. Having a player who can dominate the middle on offense and defense, and being able to just control the paint on both ends of the court, and just being able to have spot up shooters to be able to get your back. That's what Kevin Love had. That's what Amari had. That's what he had in New York. That's what he had in Phoenix. The only difference was, though, he had Steve Nash giving him the ball, which was incredible also. But if you think about it, I mean, Amari had Channing Frye. He had Raja Bell. He had Sean Marion, which was a decent shooter at the time. He was a spot-up shooter, but he was mainly a slasher and a defensive player at that time. Who else did they have? They had a lot of great shooters in the Suns team. But just after going off that tangent, I mean, this card looks really good. I'm really excited to try this card out. Amari Stoudemire, that's really cool. So then there's Jeremy Lin, when he actually took over New York for a minute. This was a very good player. This card looks great. My only problem is that he's 6'3". My only problem would be his shot. I personally was never a fan of him in any of the 2Ks that I played a few years back. I've always had a problem with his shot. That was just me. Like, for some reason, I wasn't able to actually score. And sorry, backtracking a little bit. I want to see what badges. Relentless finisher, pick and popper. Yep, pick and roller, lob finisher, and post rider. Nice. Okay. The reason I bring that up is because now I want to see Jeremy Lin's, which is dimer, pick and roll maestro, relentless finisher, teardropper, and acrobat. And he has a lot of I forgot what they're called, but yeah, this card looks alright. John Starks, Jerry Lucas. This is interesting, huh? Yeah, I believe he was kind of a he can play on both sides of the court. It was just, to me, from what I watched, from what I know, to me he was more, if you had to choose, he was more of an offensive power forward. Then you have Bill Bradley, who honestly don't know a lot. Dick Barnett, same thing, to tell you the truth. Wilson Chandler, see, oh yeah, Charlie Ward, Phil Jackson. This is very interesting seeing this. Out of a lot of New York Knicks players, this is the players you chose. Like, I understand a good chunk of these, but you know, you could have why I really am blinking. Joe Frazier, I believe. Yeah, or that's a boxer also. Huh. But yeah, there was a lot. There's a lot of Knicks players that they could have chose out of this, but they chose these 10. I don't know how it works, if they're gonna actually release more or what, but this is a pretty cool few that they released, like Amari. Now, just recommending, I wish they'd, like Steven Jackson is really cool. I think LeBron Artest would have been really interesting for the Pacers. Reggie Miller, whenever that does happen, that'll be really cool. Roy Hibbert, Jermaine O'Neal already is out. So let me see. David West, Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, Steven Jackson. I am really drawing blank on the point guard who played for the Pacers in '04. But there was Paul George, Danny Granger, Darren Collison, Roy Hibbert, and David West. Yeah, so I think Roy Hibbert would be the one I'll probably be waiting for, because he did have a stretch that he was really, he showed he was the most dominant center. Maybe not in the league, but he was definitely better than Andrew Bynum, and at that time Andrew Bynum was the thing. So that's really interesting. And actually, just going back, backtracking a little bit, you know, this Steven Jack, I don't even know if I went through Steven Jackson's card. This card looks amazing. He should have great defensive stats, which right. I believe, in my opinion, this Steven Jackson was better than the Spurs Steven Jackson when he joined the Spurs, the last championship run he had. This is Malice at the Palace Steven Jackson, by the way. One man fast break, relentless finisher, posterizer, tireless scorer, and lob city finisher. But I'm really excited to use this card too. I'm a huge Steven Jackson fan. Pre and post Malice at the Palace, he's a very good player. I believe he did lose a chunk of his game when he got suspended for like, what, 60, 70 games with Ron Artest. But I think the Pacers with players has a stacked team, and so I'm really excited with what else they're going to do with the Pacers when they add on like Reggie Miller and Ron Artest and so on and so forth. That's going to be really cool. But yeah, I appreciate y'all listening. I understand I went on a tangent, my bad, but I appreciate y'all listening. But until then though, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.